Good morning, students. So in last class we have talked about magnetism. In magnetism, first things we have done is Oersted experiment. So in Oersted experiment we have found out that if a wire is carrying current, it will produce a magnetic field around it. So this was the result from Oersted experiment, which you can read from your HSC books. Ultimately you have to just remember the result, that a current carrying wire produces a magnetic field around it. Next thing, we have defined what is magnetic field. Magnetic field is basically a field around the magnet or a current carrying wire or a moving charge, in which another magnet or a current carrying wire or a current moving charge experiences the force. So that field we call it as magnetic field. We have found out we have said that the unit of magnetic field is Tesla. We have still not found out the unit dimension of this thing, which we will do later when we know the other formula which involves the B. Next thing, we have said that we are going to find the magnetic field first, and then we are going to find the magnetic force. First we are going to find the magnetic field due to a wire, then we are going to do it for a moving charge, and finally we are going to do it for a magnet. Similarly here, first we are going to find the force on a moving charge, then force on a wire, and then force on a magnet. So basically these 6 things we are going to cover. Now to find the magnetic field, we have another law which is called as Biot-Savart law. So now we are going to start with Biot-Savart law. So Biot-Savart law says that you have a current element. Current in this one is I. So the current element IDL due to this current element at a point P, which is a distance r from the this current element, and this position vector of this is making an angle theta with the current element. Then due to this very small current element, the magnetic field in vector form can be written as mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross r vector divided by r vector q. So we have said that this is the position vector form of Biot-Savart law. Second thing we have done is unit vector form, which was mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross r cap r square. So this is the position vector form and this is the unit vector form. Now from this, if I want to find the magnitude of the magnetic field, magnitude of the magnetic field can be written as mu naught by 4 pi I will be same dl cross r cap can be written as dl sin theta. As you know, A cross B will be A, magnitude of A into magnitude of B. So magnitude of this one will be dl, magnitude of this one is r, and the angle between dl and r is theta. So this will be sin theta divided by magnitude of this one, which is r square. So this gives you the magnitude of magnetic field due to this very small current element. Now the question comes, how do we find the direction? Now when you finding the direction, as you can see here, the direction is given by the cross product of dl and r. So here what will you do to find the direction of direction of magnetic field can be found out by right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule. Both of them we have seen in earlier class, that if you have A cross B, to find the direction of A cross B, you keep your fingers in the direction of A and curl it towards the B, it will give you the direction of the vector n cap. So similarly here we can find the direction of magnetic field. As we progress with this, we are going to see how to use this thing when finding the direction of magnetic field. So this was the Biot-Savart law. This is in unit position vector, unit vector and magnitude. Direction of magnetic field is given by right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule. Fingers in the direction of dl or current, because dl and current both have same direction. So fingers in the direction of current, curl it towards the point, the thumb will give you the direction of magnetic field, or your thumb in the direction of dl, fingers towards the point, and palm will give you the direction of magnetic field. So we are going to see this now. So next heading is application of Biot-Savart law. So next heading is application of Biot-Savart law. Now, so first application we are going to find is magnetic field due to straight wire. Now, in some books, instead of magnetic field, they also mention it as magnetic induction. So, if you see a term called magnetic induction or magnetic field, or some books is also called it as magnostatic field. So, both are means all the terms means the same thing, which means magnetic field. So, magnetic induction due to straight wire. So, basically we have a straight wire, length of this wire you can assume L, total length of this wire you can assume L, and this one there is a current I. Again we are going to use Biot-Savart law to find the magnetic field due to a current carrying wire. So, when I am writing the magnetic field due to a straight wire, it automatically means this wire will have current. So, current in this wire is I, and I want to find magnetic field at a distance A from the wire. So, the perpendicular distance of the point from the wire is A. So, to find the magnetic field at this point due to this current carrying wire, I am going to use Biot-Savart law. So, Biot-Savart law says first you divide the wire into very small elements. So, what I am going to do is, I am going to assume this as origin, and from here in this direction I will go at a distance y, and I will take a very small element whose length is dy. So, this distance is y, and I have taken a very small current element whose length is dy. So, due to this dy, I can find the magnetic field here. This distance is a, this distance is y. So, this distance I am assuming small r. Again remember, the magnetic field is given when you are writing 1 upon r square, that 1 upon r square is the distance between the current element and the point where you want to find the magnetic field. So, I want to find the magnetic field here due to this very small current element. So, I can write dB is equals to mu naught I divided by 4 pi. So, mu naught I divided by 4 pi into dl. So, here instead of dl I have taken the element to be dy. So, this will be dy. Now, we are going to find what is the theta angle which we should take. So, I will write that part later, and here the distance will be r square. So, I can write this thing as dy by r square into sine. Now, theta is the angle between angle between the current element and the position vector. So, here current element is this and the position vector is this. So, I am interested in this angle. So, my angle here, when I am writing sin theta, my angle here will be this angle. So, here I am going to assume this angle is theta. So, this angle will be 90. So, this angle is theta, this angle is 90. So, I can write this thing as 90 minus theta. So, this angle will be 90 plus theta, and I can consider this to be a very small element d theta. I hope you remember integration and differentiation, how do we take the elements and how do we do the integration. So, here I have taken at a y distance and element dy, and from this point I have taken at angle theta a very small element which is d theta. So, here this angle is theta. So, I can write this angle will be 90 plus theta. So, here when you are writing the sin theta, here your theta is this angle, which is angle between the current element and the position vector of the wire. So, here I can write this thing as 90 plus theta, which basically will become dB is equals to mu naught I divided by 4 pi dy cos theta by r square. Now, from here you can say sin 90 plus theta is equals to cos theta. Now, this is magnetic field due to this very small current element, but I want to find the magnetic field due to this complete wire. So, what I need to do is I have to do the integration, but if you see this side, here your variable for integration is dy, but here you have total 3 variable. One integration variable is y, theta is also variable and r is also variable. As you can see, this r is this distance. So if y is changing and theta is changing, r will also change. So here I have three variables, so I have to convert one variable from another, then only I can do the integration. So we are going to use trigonometry to convert these three into one single variable. So from here I can write this distance will be a, this distance will be y, and this distance is r, and this angle is theta. So I am taking this triangle and I am trying to eliminate or I am trying to convert all these three variables into one single variable equation. So from here in this angle, sorry, in this triangle, from here I can write sin tan theta is equals to y divided by a. So tan theta is opposite divided by base, so this will be y divided by a, or I can write y is equals to a tan theta. Similarly, the relationship between a and r can be written as cos theta is equals to a divided by r. So cos theta, from here in this triangle, a divided by base divided by hypotenuse, base divided by hypotenuse can be written as cos theta. So now from here I have a variable cos theta which I have converted this thing is to a by r, and y is equals to a tan theta. So from here I can write dy is equals to a sec square theta d theta. So I have converted dy into this form. So now dy is in terms of theta only. From here also I can write r is equals to a by cos theta, which again can be written as a sec theta. So now I have converted the y in the form of theta and r in the form of theta again. So I can replace the value of dy and r in that equation. So now I am going to rub this off and I am going to simplify this equation using these two values of dy and r. So from here I can write dp is equals to mu naught I divided by 4 pi. Instead of dy I can write a sec square theta. So this will be, and instead of cos theta I can write a divided by r. So this will become a square and this will become r cube. So instead of dy sec square d theta, and instead of cos theta I can write a by r. Similarly, and instead of r I can write a sec theta. So this will be a sec cube theta d theta, sec cube theta. So now I have simplified I have replaced the value of r and dy in this equation. So from here you can see db is equals to mu naught I divided by 4 pi into, from here this will be upon a, and this will be 1 upon sec theta, which can be written as cos theta d theta, cos theta d theta. So now here I have only one variable, the variable of integration is also theta, and the variable which I have to integration, that is also theta. So again we have a wire, this distance is a, this angle is theta, and current in this wire is I. Now here my integration variable is theta, so I have to see how the theta is changing here. This end of the wire, suppose it is making an angle theta 1 with the, this end of the wire is making an angle theta 1 with this point. Similarly this point is making an angle theta 2. So my variable theta is, if I take this, I have taken this line as reference. So the theta in this direction it is changing up to theta 1, and here it is changing up to theta 2. So I am going to take this direction as positive and this direction as negative. So the theta is a variable which is changing from theta to minus theta 2. So here if I want to find the total integration will be b is equals to mu naught I upon 4 pi a integration of cos theta d theta, and I have to keep the limit from lower limit to upper limit. So, here the lower limit is theta 2, sorry, minus theta 2, and the upper limit will be theta 1, because when you start from here I have taken this direction as positive. So, if you start from here, the initial angle will be minus theta 2, and when you reach at this point the angle will be theta 1. So, this is the your integration. Now, you know the integration of cos theta is sin theta. So, I can write this term as b is equals to mu naught I divided by 4 pi a integration will be sin theta, and the limit will be from minus theta 2 to theta 1, which finally I can write mu naught I divided by 4 pi a sin theta 1 minus, this will be sin minus theta 2, now you know that you can write sin of minus theta as minus sin theta. So, this minus will come out and this will become plus, this will be sin theta 2. So, here this is the magnetic field due to a straight wire at a point which is at a distance a from the wire. The formula is mu naught I divided by 4 pi a sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2. Here I is current in the wire, a is the distance of the point from the wire, theta 1 is the upper limit of the angle, and theta 2 is the lower limit of the angle. So, here this is the formula due to a straight wire, magnetic field due to a straight wire. Now, we have just found out the magnitude. Now, we have to find the direction, and I told you to find the direction of magnetic field you can make use of right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule. So, we are going to use both right hand thumb rule as well as right hand palm rule to find the direction of magnetic field. So, the right hand thumb rule says fingers in the direction of the current. So, if I keep my fingers in the direction of the current, I can keep the fingers like this or this. Then I have to curl my fingers towards the point. Point is this side. So, I have to take my fingers like this and I have to curl it towards the point. So, if I curl it towards the point, my thumb is going in the inward direction. So, here the direction of magnetic field will be in the inward direction. Or you can use the right hand palm rule also. Right hand palm rule says thumb in the direction of the current. So, if I keep my thumb in the direction of the current and fingers in the direction of the point, then the magnetic field will again be given by my direction of the palm, which is again inward. So, here if the point is this side, the magnetic field will be inwards. Similarly, what if the point is this side? Because the point can be in this side also. So, if the point is here, again I have to use the right hand palm rule. So, here again right hand palm rule says fingers in the direction, sorry, thumb in the direction of current, fingers towards the point, palm will give the direction of magnetic field. So, here at this point the magnetic field will be outwards. Similarly, the points can be here also. So, if you try to find it using the right hand palm rule, the direction of magnetic field will be in this direction, and the point which is behind this, the magnetic field will be in the backward direction, sorry, in this direction. So, if I see the wire from the top, so this is the wire and I am assuming the current is outwards. As you can see, if you see from here, the current will be coming towards you. So, we are seeing the wire from here and the current is coming outwards. Now, you can see the magnetic field will make a circular pattern around the wire. Now, if you see from the top, this wire is, sorry, this is going inwards, this like this. So, you will see that the magnetic field will be like this. So, if you see the point there, here if you see from the top, here the magnetic field is going inwards. So, if you see from the top, you will see the magnetic field is moving like this. So, this is the pattern of magnetic field lines for a wire. I have not defined what is magnetic field line, but from the electrostatic field, sorry, from electrostatics you can get an idea what do you mean by magnetic field line. Later when we study the magnetic field line, I will again repeat these things. So, for now just remember that for a wire, the magnetic field, sorry, straight wire, the magnetic field lines will make circular loops. So you have to remember the formula for magnitude of the magnetic field and direction. Always try to find using the right hand palm rule, because it will be very difficult to memorize the circle, because here we are seeing from the top. In your exam the answer, the wire will always be given in the plane of the paper. So try to use right hand palm rule. Practice on your own. If you have not understood this thing, you can again revise this thing and see how to find the direction of the magnetic field when the wire is straight. Now for a straight wire we are going to do some special cases. So the first special case is you have a current carrying wire and the point is on the axis of the wire. So now the distance between the wire and the point is not here, point has come on the axis. So the formula we have seen is B is equals to mu naught I divided by 4 pi a sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2. Here theta 1 is the angle which the point is making from the ends of the wire. So if I take this point and I join from this point, as you can see here the angle will be 0 degree, and if I join this point the angle will be 180 degree. So here if you put this is 0 and this is 180, this whole term will come out to be 0. So you can say here magnetic field will be 0. So on the axis of the wire the magnetic field can be written as 0, because here the point is making 0 degree and 180 degree angle with respective to the ends of the wire. So magnetic field on the axis of the wire is 0. Second is on the perpendicular bisector. Now perpendicular bisector, what do I mean? Suppose you have wire, this distance is a and the point is on the perpendicular bisector of the wire. So here this angle will be theta, this angle will also be theta, and I am assuming total length of the wire is L. So I can say this length will be L by 2 and this length will also be L by 2. So this length will be L by 2. So now here magnetic field I can write mu naught I divided by 4 pi a. Instead of theta 1 I can keep theta, instead of theta 2 again I can place theta. So this will be sin theta plus sin theta, which is equals to 2 sin theta. So this will be 2 sin theta. So these two will, I can write 2. So if the point is on the perpendicular bisector of the wire, the magnetic field can be written as mu naught I divided by 2 pi a sin theta. Now if they don't give you the theta, they only give you the length of the wire and a, then also you can find the value of sin theta. If you notice this triangle, this distance is a, this is L by 2 and this is theta. So from here I can write this distance will be root of L by 2 square plus a square. From here sin theta can be written as opposite divided by hypotenuse, which is L square by 4 plus a square. Now again if I simplify this thing, this will become L square plus 4a square divided by 4. If I take it out of the root, this will become 1 by 2. So this 2 and this 2 will cancel each other. So from here I can write sin theta is equals to L divided by root of L square plus 4a square. So here you can replace this value, then you will get the magnetic field, another formula, which is mu naught I divided by 2 pi a into L divided by root of L square plus 4a square. So this is the magnetic field due to a wire when the point is at the perpendicular bisector. So the third case is we have a really long wire and the point is exact opposite to the one end of the wire. So as you can see, this is a really long wire, so it is going up to infinite and the point is exact opposite to the exact opposite to the one of the end of the wire. So we are going to call this situation as semi infinite wire. So for semi infinite wire we have written the formula for a wire is mu naught I by 4 pi a sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2. So here theta 1 is the angle which the point is making with this end and this line. So with this line, if I want to join this end and this point, then I have to draw a straight line which will go till infinite. So here theta 1 will be 90 degree. Theta 2 is the angle when you are joining this point and this point, the angle between that line and this line, dotted line. So here the angle will be 0 degree. So here theta 1 is equals to 90 degree and theta 2 is equals to 0 degree. So if you replace these two values, theta 1 sin 90 degree will be 1 and sin 0 will be 0. So this whole term will become 1. So here the magnetic field will be mu naught I divided by 4 pi a. So this is the magnetic field due to a semi infinite wire. Now semi infinite wire just means that the wire is really long. So basically this situation, wire is really long but the point is in front of the one of the end of the wire, then the magnetic field will be mu naught I divided by 4 pi a. Again this is just the magnitude. If you want to find the direction, you have to use the right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule. Next situation is infinite wire. Infinite wire means the wire is really long and the point is in front of the wire. So here again if I join this point and the end of the wire, this line has to be straight. Similarly here if I want to join this end of the wire and this one, so this will also be 90 degree. So here both theta 1 and theta 2 are 90 degree and this distance is a. So here I can write theta 1 is equals to 90 degree, theta 2 also is 90 degree. So if I replace these two value in this one, this will be sin 90 plus sin 90 which is 2. So this will be magnetic field will be mu naught I divided by 2 pi a. So this is the magnetic field due to a infinite wire. So in that wire we have to remember the 5 formulas. Basically all the other 4 formulas are derived from this one formula. So for a wire, the straight wire, magnetic field is written as mu naught I divided by 4 pi a sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2. Here remember what is theta 1 and theta 2. Theta 1 and theta 2 are the angle which is between this line which is joining the point and the wire. Theta 1 will be the angle which is between this end of the wire and the point, the line is joining this. So between this line and this line, the angle we are taking as theta 1, and between this line and this line we are taking the angle as theta 2. So here theta 1 and theta 2, this is for any wire, this holds true for any straight wire. Now in that we have derived some special cases. First special case is the point is on the point is on the axis of the wire, then magnetic field is 0. If the point is at the perpendicular bisector, then the magnetic field can be written as mu naught I divided by 2 pi a into sin theta. This was for perpendicular bisector. Similarly for semi infinite wire, the magnetic field was mu naught I divided by 4 pi a, and for infinite wire the magnetic field is mu naught I divided by 2 pi a. So you have to remember these 5 formulas. Later we will do practice on these questions once we do the magnetic field due to a ring and then magnetic field due to a circular arc. After completing those things, we will see some problems there where you will get more idea what kind of questions are asked and how to find the direction of magnetic field. Here as you can see, the difficult part is finding the direction of magnetic field. For magnitude of magnetic field, there are very simple formulas. I told you there are only 4 configuration which you have to remember, but in those 4 configuration the problems becomes difficult when they are asking with the direction of magnetic field. So practice the direction of magnetic field as much as you can. And for the direction of magnetic field, 2 simple rule, right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule. Next we are going to do magnetic field due to a ring. So basically we have a circular ring and we are going to find magnetic field on the axis only. Again remember there are multiple points possible, but we are going to find the magnetic field on the axis of the ring. So the total heading, if you want to write, the heading will be magnetic field due to a current carrying ring on the axis of the ring. So basically you have a ring. So this is the axis of the ring. Radius of the ring I am assuming R, and there is a current in the ring which is I. So I am assuming here. So basically if you are, the ring is like this. So if you are standing here, you will see that the current is flowing like this, or if you are seeing from this side, you will see that the current is flowing like this. So here at this point, if I ask you the direction of the current, so the current will come like this, and at this point the current will go inside. So here the direction of current is outwards, here the direction of current is inwards. And I want to find the magnetic field at this point. The distance between the center of the point and the wire is x. So basically we are going to find the magnetic field at a point which is at a distance x from the center of the ring. Radius of the ring is r and current in the ring is I. So again we can use Biot-Savart law to find the magnetic field. Biot-Savart law says you have to divide this into very small current element. So I take a current element from the top. Now if you see the current element at the top is like this. So if you consider a ring like this, so here this current element will be like this. Here also the current element will be like this. So here in this current element the current is flowing like this, and the point is here. So I am going to assume this distance will be r. So here this I am going to assume this is dl and this is r. So here this is the direction of dl and this is the direction of r. Direction of dl is this, direction of r is this. So you can see the angle between dl and r is 90 degree, and I am assuming this angle is alpha. So due to this very small current element, the magnetic field can be written as dB is equals to mu naught I divided by 4 pi into dl sin theta. Here you can see this sin theta is the angle between the current element. Here current element is this, the position vector is this. So here you can see the angle is 90 degree. So here sin theta will be 1 divided by r square. R square is the distance between these two. So I can write this thing as dl divided by r square. So this is the magnetic field due to this point. This is the magnitude. Now I have to find the direction. So direction is to find out, we can find the direction using the right hand palm rule or right hand thumb rule. I am going to use right hand palm rule. In right hand palm rule, you keep your thumb in the direction of the current. So here current is in this direction, so I have kept my thumb in this direction, and the point is on the axis here, so I have to keep my fingers in the direction of the point. So my hand will be like this. So this is the direction of current and this is the position vector. So my palm will give you the direction of magnetic field. So magnetic field will basically like this. So here I can say the magnetic field due to this current element will be in this direction. Here this angle will be 90 degree. So this is the magnetic field due to this current element. Similarly, I can take a current element at this point also. Due to this current element, again, if this angle is alpha, this will also be alpha. This distance is r, this will also be r. The radius of the r and the length of the element is dl. So, as you can see, this situation and this situation is symmetric. So, the magnitude of magnetic field due to this current element will also be this, but the direction will be different. Let us find out the direction due to this current element. Here the current element will be like this, but the current is going inwards. So, you have to keep your thumb in the direction of current and fingers towards the point, and palm will give you the direction of magnetic field. So, here magnetic field will be in that direction. So, here you will have magnetic field which is in this direction. So, this is the magnetic field due to this current element, and this is the magnetic field due to this current element. As you can see, magnitude wise this one and this one is same, but the direction of both of them is different. So, to resolve this thing, we have to take the component of this magnetic field. So, I can take one component of this in this direction and one component of this magnetic field in this direction. Now, this total angle is 90, this angle is alpha, so this will be 90 minus alpha, and this will be total angle is 90, so this is alpha, so this angle will be 90 minus alpha, and this angle I can write alpha. So, this is basic trigonometry, so this angle will be alpha. Similarly, here this so basically I can write this component of magnetic field will be dB cos alpha, and this component will be dB sin alpha. Again, similarly for this, if I want to take the component, one component will be in this direction, another component will be in this direction. Again, this angle will be alpha, so this component will be dB cos alpha, and this component will be dB sin alpha. So, here you can see these components will cancel each out and this will add up. So, total magnetic field, if I want to find, so you can note this down. I am going to rub this off and we are going to do the integration now. So, the total integration I can write, so the total magnetic field I can write, it will be the integration of dB sin alpha, because if I take very small element, the component which are opposite to each other will cancel out and net magnetic field will be along the axis of the wire sorry, axis of the ring. So, here the integration will be dB sin alpha, and the value of dB you can write from here. So, here this will be B mu naught I divided by 4 pi r square into sin alpha dl. So, this is the magnetic field and total magnetic field will be the integration. Now, in this, here your variable of integration is dl, alpha is constant. If you see the diagram again, this angle is alpha. As you can see, for each and every current element, the magnitude of alpha will be same. So, alpha, which is the angle of this point and this current element, is same for all. So, alpha is constant. Similarly, r is the distance between the current element and the point on the axis. So, here this distance and this distance. Similarly, if you take a point here, distance of that point and this point will also be r. So, mu naught I 4 pi r square and sin alpha is constant. So, the total integration will come out to be mu naught I divided by 4 pi r square into sin alpha integration dl. Now, this integration dl I can write this dl plus this dl plus this dl. So, this total will be the length of the wire. So, the length of the wire I can write 2 pi r. So, finally the total magnetic field will come out to be mu naught I sin alpha divided by 4 pi r square, and this dl can be written as 2 pi r. So, the total integration of dl will be the, you have to add all the elements of the ring, which will be the total length of the ring. So, this will be 2 pi r. From here you can simplify this. B is equals to mu naught I r sin alpha, mu naught I r sin alpha, this 2 pi will cancel out. So, this will be 2 r square. Now, again here also there are lot of things. So, we are going to again simplify this thing. So, we have this ring, radius of the ring is r, this distance is x, and this distance is small r, and this angle is alpha. Again here I can write r is equals to root of r square plus a square, and sin alpha I can write capital R divided by small r. So, if I replace these two values here, I will get mu naught I into r. So, sin alpha can be written as r square divided by r. So, this will become 2 r cube, which can be written as 2. Instead of r I can write r square plus a square root, and r cube will be, sorry, this will be x. So, this will be r square plus x square power 3 by 2. So, this is the magnetic field due to a current carrying ring on the axis of the ring. The distance of the point from the center of the ring is x. Remember here x is the distance from the center of the ring. So, this is the formula. I is the current, r is the radius of the ring, and x is the distance between the point where you have to find the magnetic field on the axis and the center of the ring. Now, we have found out the magnitude, let us find out the direction again. So, we have seen that these component of magnetic field will cancel each other out. Ultimately, the magnetic field will come out to be in this direction. So, on the axis of the ring, the direction of magnetic field will be along the axis of the ring. So, here we have assumed that the direction of, current is flowing like this. So, the direction of magnetic field is like this. And if the current is flowing in the opposite direction, the direction of magnetic field will be the opposite. So, you have to remember this thing, and you have to practice this thing, the direction of magnetic field for a ring and the direction of magnetic field for a current carrying wire. Now, in this one we have a special case, only one special case where you have to find the magnetic field at the center of the ring. So, at the center of the ring, the point will come here. So, here the x will become 0. So, in this formula, if you put x is equals to 0, you will find the magnetic field at the center. So, here if I put 0, this will become r cube. So, this will be r square divided by r cube, which will be 1 upon r. So, here I can write magnetic field at the center of the ring can be written as mu naught I divided by 2r. So, you have to remember a general formula for magnetic field due to a ring, and then you have to remember a special case where you have to find the magnetic field at the center of the ring. In tomorrow's class, we are going to practice problem based on the magnetic field due to a straight wire, then magnetic field due to a ring, and magnetic field due to a circular arc. We will do it in the next class. For that time being, you just remember the formulas, try to practice the direction for a straight wire. For a ring, I will again explain how to find the direction. With this, I will stop, and we will see in the next class. Thank you.